The free Assassin's Creed Mirage DLC is out now and completely changes how you control Basim. The new region is huge and has some really cool landmarks. No story spoilers of course in this video, but the main missions are pretty good, also thanks to a nice amount of motion capture scenes. But I've especially been having a ton of fun with the replayable missions that give some really cool rewards. There are also big improvements to the overall game, so a ton to go over. Ubisoft wanted to sponsor my coverage of the new content, which of course really supports the channel. You can check out Mirage at a big discount now via the link in the video description, and let's go. I saw some confusion, but to get this new content you simply have to download an update for the game, or if you install Mirage right now, the new content will immediately be included. Upon loading into the game, you will see that a new case has been unveiled. Simply follow that to get the dervies, which will immediately take you to the new Al-Hula region. And also gives Basim his new costume that looks very cool. More on the outfits, including the new Helix packs, in a second. If you finish the main story, you can immediately go to the new content, otherwise you need to have reached the head of the snake main mission, so basically when you only need one more target in Baghdad. You can also select a new save and immediately go to this new region, but I don't recommend it as it's more challenging content. I in particular like the new contracts that play well with the fact that there's a new enemy faction now that fights against the regular red soldiers we saw in the base game. These robbers are overall nothing special, just purple variants of archetypes we already fought before, with one enemy now having a poison sword that you want to avoid, but they still found some fun little ways to make them feel different. There are stolen goods you can find that give clues for hidden treasures, flying papers we can chase again, but the fun twist here is that these are music sheets for songs that Basim can play on an instrument, and they did overall a great job making the outdoor viewpoints a bit more exciting with small parkour segments to make climbing the giant structures or mountains more fun. And these climbing and overall parkour segments are way more enjoyable thanks to, in my opinion, the biggest new addition with this Mirage update, the manual jump. So let's go over that and way more additions with this update. Of course, leave a like, that would really help me out, and subscribe for way more Assassin's Creed videos. In the settings menu, you can enable this free jump, and then the game automatically asks you to switch to the so-called modern controls. What this means is that you can now parkour with R2 similar to the older games, and then with X you can at any point jump in the direction you move the analog stick into. This means you can at any point reach higher overhangs and create completely new pathways across rooftops. I totally forgot how much I missed this and how much it impacts the game. It's really good. Now, something important about these modern controls is that they put parry on triangle, which is not ideal. So I switched that back to L1 and have the tool wheel now on holding L1. And I then changed the regular interaction button back to triangle. It's normally triangle in this game as well, like for looting stuff. And they can enjoy the parkour with R2 and the manual jump by pressing X without it impacting too much of your gameplay. If manual jump, by the way, does not work after changing your controls, simply select X as the input. Another thing they added is an option called free back and side eject mode. Normally this was on safe, meaning that if you wanted to do a back or side eject from a high point, the game would not allow that because you would take a lot of fall damage and maybe not survive. Well, now you can toggle the free option and they can do these ejects from any height with risk for your own life. Although with the break fall skill you will of course reduce your fall damage, so very likely survive. They also added one new skill that lets you unlock all the tier 1 tool upgrades. I would suggest you immediately unlock this by resetting the focus boost skill and immediately putting those skill points into this new engineer 2 skill. I will tell you how to get the remaining skill points in a moment. First, there are new tool upgrades for each tool and they are pretty good. The throwing knives now deal explosive damage that kills the target it hits, but it also drops nearby enemies on the floor so you can finish them off. And best of all, this will not alert surrounding enemies. The Noisemaker upgrade is basically an AoE sleep tool now, really handy. I'm not a big fan of the new trap upgrade as enemies turn berserk, which is just fun but not really reliable. Anyone you kill in the new smoke bomb upgrade now disappears, similar to the throwing knife effect we had before. And the new blow dart upgrade is kind of useless because it lets you bypass the armor of brute enemies, but with the cloud impact perk you can already do that, so it's smarter to select a different tier 3 blow dart perk. And these new tool upgrades are crucial in the Animus sequences, the new mission replay feature you can easily access from the menu. Here you can redo many of the bigger main missions and all of the contracts with brand new challenges like not using eagle vision, not getting detected, not killing anyone, and then also a time window in which you want to complete these. Your tools are super important here to put enemies to sleep so you don't kill them or remain in stealth. I also use the Rostam outfit to reduce my movement sounds by 100%, really handy for the many stealth challenges. Like, I think it's at least worth it to do the Animus sequences for the amazing Eternal Wanderer costume that looks like nothing you've seen in the game and also changes Basim's voice a bit when you use it.
May I see your wares?
You can also earn the before mentioned skill points here, new weapons, although getting the upgrade schematic is quite the grind, so you cannot immediately use them. There are cheat codes for New Game Plus and these Animus sequences, and filters that give Mirage an Assassin's Creed 2 feel, for example, or you have one based on Odyssey and even Unity, although that one is quite hard to get. So real quick, some pro tips for these Animus sequences to at least get the outfit. You want to focus on the missions with the shortest timer, as these are usually easy and quick if you also have to redo them. The ones that require environmental kills are usually hard to fully complete, so I would save them for later. And what you can also do is after completing a contract, say a new one in Alhula, immediately do them in the Animus sequence, as you then still have the muscle memory of what you needed to do and can then quickly finish it for the rewards. So yes, there are quite some new weapons and 6 new outfits to earn by playing all this new content. Just playing through the story quest gets you quite a lot already, and Ubisoft also added 2 new Helix packs to the game. The highlight is totally the Desert Scorpion pack with an insane mount and a dragon bird skin, but it's especially the armor that looks awesome. It looks a lot like the characters in Atlas Fallen, if you know, you know. And yes, the voice also changes in this outfit.
It was a fitful night. Sleep did not come easily.
It has flaming swords where dodges set enemies on fire, and killing an enemy while they are on fire creates an explosion. But as you can see, that explosion is kind of small and the perks only work for the first few enemies during an encounter. So it's sadly not that great. Like, I don't think any of these new Helix items are worth getting. Also, the new Celestial Swords sure look awesome with the Galaxy Trail they leave behind. But the perks give you an additional Assassin Focus charge, so 6 instead of 5, but it's already hard to find 5 enemies, let alone 6. And there's currently a discount for all the launch Helix packs, which a way better deal if you want to support the developers for this free update. And by the way, with these new Helix items, playing on the highest difficulty, just like I did during the stream and basically my whole DLC playthrough. They now have a harder normal mode and a true hard mode. It's not as unforgiving as I anticipated, so totally a fun challenge if you are up for it. We got some stealth improvements. You can cancel a chain assassination now instead of having to wait in slow motion, which actually a really great addition. The tool aim assist would first not target enemy weak spots while behind them, but this has now been fixed, so you can more instantly target their hand or head. And also when you start a fight, now after installing the update, you will immediately get a new tooltip talking about defense and how to lower that so you can take out an enemy. They also made some great improvements to the combat. Maybe you already saw it, but doing a parry now has a much more noticeable visual effect, so it feels more satisfying when you pull them off. Another small but noticeable change is that enemies now flinch a bit better by moving more body parts when you hit them with light attacks. First, light attacks lacked a bit of impact, but now they feel much better because of the improved enemy reaction and because of the improved effects. But the biggest change in terms of combat is the fact that the kick is now way easier to pull off. This is of course one of the early skills you unlock, but before the window after a parry was very small for you to perform this attack. Now it's much more generous, meaning you can easily push enemies off buildings, although most buildings are not high enough to kill the enemies, sadly. They also nerfed our nemesis, the bounty hunter. First, if you would attack and he parried that, he would instantly counter you with an unblockable attack, but you had almost no time to dodge out of the way. Now with the new update, he will wait a bit, so you can very easily dodge backwards to avoid the attack and even counter with one of your own. Other small improvements are the fact that before you would always see a skill point in the top right corner if one was available, similar to Valhalla, but in that game it made more sense as it was linked to your power level. In Mirage, not so much. So they removed it, and you will now only see an exclamation mark when in the menu. Also, when tool upgrades are available, the Hidden Ones Bureau icon will now have a small orange icon next to it, which you also see in the compass. They changed around some of the descriptions of missions by changing the order of the rewards. I have no idea why, but yeah, they did that. And they also changed the investigate mission prompt, as you can see right here. Let me know your thoughts on the update in the comments down below. Check out my stream by clicking on the screen. Subscribe, leave a like, and I will speak to you soon. Goodbye.